be throwing rocks and hiding their hand, right? They be throwing rocks and hiding their hand. And I don't like them kind of individuals.
Elsie, you may not know this. You had the opportunity to take Houston.
Yeah.
But you chose Shreveport.
Yeah. And Houston didn't have the same, they embraced me good. Like I got out there, they showed me a lot of love.
Mm-hmm.
But Shreveport had the infrastructure already here. Like even the tax incentive was.
Because a nigga pick who he be fight with.
Right.
Like if you sit and you go, oh, I'm not going because this. Yeah, I think I can take him.
Welcome back to Juicy Pulse, your daily dose of scandal and glamour. Let's spill the tea on today's biggest celebrity stories. 50 Cent just snapped, and this time, it's straight at Jay Prince. Word is, Jay Prince tried to push 50 out of Houston, but 50, he ain't going quietly. He's coming back swinging, exposing alleged shady backroom moves and calling Jay Prince out on what he says is an old-school extortion hustle. And 50 ain't just talking. He's moving with full energy. Allegedly, Jay Prince has been feeling that pressure, and folks are saying he's been sending some muscle to mess with 50's business moves. But 50, he's clapping back hard. He's on Instagram throwing jabs, mocking Jay, and even told him straight up, "Pull up if you're really built like that." Wild. Rumor has it, 50's sitting on some serious receipts that could shake Jay Prince's whole empire to the core. And if that's true, Jay might not want this heat. But don't get it twisted. Jay Prince still got deep roots in Houston. He's got people that'll ride for him without hesitation. So 50 better keep his eyes open. This ain't no light drama. This is street power versus industry muscle, and it's already spiraling into something huge. These two have been circling each other for years, but now the gloves are off, and this feud just hit dangerous levels. 50 ain't ever been cool with Jay Prince's whole check-in game, and he's made that loud and clear. Jay Prince still walks around like he's the undisputed king of Houston, demanding respect from anyone stepping in his city. For a while, the two were throwing shots from a distance. 50 held it down up in New York, and Jay Prince ran things in H-Town. It was more of a Cold War, until 50 flipped the script. See, things got real when 50 took it personal and decided to pull up to Houston for good. He didn't just visit. Man moved his entire operation to Jay Prince's turf. He dropped the bomb in a tweet like, "I love New York, but I live in Houston now. I'll explain later." And that move? That was the beginning of something serious. One reason behind it? Taxes. 50 was fed up with New York bleeding him dry. He even said the tax hike was 62%. That's major. And like most power players, when the numbers ain't adding up, they bounce before Uncle Sam grabs too much. But let's keep it real. That's only part of the story. 50 had already been eyeing Houston's hip-hop scene. And he didn't just want in, he wanted to dominate it. Moving there wasn't just a money move. It was a power play, right in Jay Prince's backyard. Houston ain't just another city. It's a major hub for rap, trap, and street culture. And 50? He's not just a rapper. He's a businessman with a sharp eye for culture, entertainment, and big profits. So when he saw Houston heating up, he knew it was the perfect spot to plant his flag and cash in on the next wave of money moves. Some folks think the switch wasn't just about taxes or music. It had a lot to do with his liquor brand, Branson Cognac. Remember when 50 was popping up at every Houston liquor store, showing off his bottles and shaking hands with the locals? Yeah, that wasn't random. People believe he saw Houston as a gold mine for Branson and wanted to stay close so he could control the game from the ground up. But Jay Prince? He didn't like that. Not one bit. Word is, he felt disrespected. Like 50 was stepping all over his turf without giving props or checking in. Allegedly, Jay Prince tried to hit back first, sending his crew to apply pressure and force 50 to drop some bands as a street tax. But 50 wasn't about to play by those rules. He shut it down fast, made it clear he rolls with his own security, and he wasn't handing over a dime just to keep someone else happy. And that move, it only fired Jay Prince up even more. Word on the street is, Jay Prince tried to hit 50 Cent with a no-fly zone. Tried to block him from moving around Houston like it was lockdown. But guess what? That didn't fly at all. 50 wasn't backing down or ducking behind the scenes. He stayed visible, running his empire loud and proud, and even building up the community while doing it. He wasn't just out there flexing. He had big plans on deck. 50 was set to launch a $20 million film studio under his G-Unit film label right there in Houston. That move would have flipped the whole entertainment game in the city. But out of nowhere, he hit pause and moved the entire project to Shreveport, Louisiana instead. Yeah, just packed it all up and bounced. That decision came not long after he got real love from the city. In 2022, just a year after settling in Houston, Mayor Sylvester Turner gave 50 his own key to the city, and even named a whole day after him. That honor went down during the big Thanksgiving Day parade. Pure celebration vibes. The mayor couldn't stop praising him either. Called him a philanthropist, rapper, artist, and businessman who's been making major impact, especially in schools, helping high school kids turn into young entrepreneurs. So while the street drama brewed, 50 was still out here making boss moves and getting flowers from the city at the same time. Thanks to his G-Unite program, the mayor went all out and made it official. November 24th is now 50 Cent Day in Houston. He even told 50 he'll always have a home in the city. The crowd, they were loving it. You could feel the energy, like Houston had just adopted a new king. And 50, he matched that love in his speech, bringing real heart to the moment. But while 50 was getting showered with praise, Jay Prince was somewhere fuming. Word is, he was tight, watching 50 rise up and start running things in his own backyard. That had to sting bad, because all eyes were now on 50. And honestly, the reason 50 got handed the keys is crystal clear. He didn't come to Houston trying to take over by force. He came with investments, programs, and real opportunities. While Jay Prince was still getting labeled as a street figure, 50 was moving like a power player, a guy who brings results. Through his G-Unit Foundation, 50's been putting serious money into uplifting the community. One major move? The G-Unite Business Lab, a whole educational program aimed at helping high school kids in Houston learn how to become entrepreneurs. That's big! And he didn't stop there. He pushed his Sire Spirits brand straight into Houston's sports world. We're talking partnerships with the Rockets, Astros, and Texans. That's how you cement your name in a city, with real moves, not just noise. 50's presence in Houston, man, it's been major. In 2022, he launched the first ever Houston Tycoon Comedy and Music Festival, turning the city into a full-blown entertainment hotspot. And that same year, he teamed up with the Houston Rockets to give out 1,000 free turkeys to families during Thanksgiving. That's not just giving back, that's building real community love. But he wasn't done. In 2023, 50 dropped a whopping $850,000 worth of toys for a holiday drive, backing the citywide club's mission to give away 100,000 toys to local kids. That's the kind of move that sticks in people's hearts forever. Then in 2024, he helped pull in $500,000 for the Houston Children's Charity, auctioning off 2 giant bottles of his Le Chemin du Roi champagne at a big-time gala. That same event ended up raising $6 million total, a record-breaking moment for the organization. 50 wasn't just making noise. He was making history in that city. So, yeah, the city adores him. And the numbers back it up. Meanwhile, Jay Prince? Different story. His name's been tied up with mob ties and intimidating artists who just want to do business in Houston. While 50's out here opening doors and helping kids, Jay's rep is tied to gatekeeping and fear tactics. Two very different lanes, and Houston's clearly picking sides. After dubbing himself the King of H-Town, Jay Prince claimed he was just trying to protect artists visiting the city, so they wouldn't get robbed. Sounds noble at first glance, until you dig deeper and realize this so-called protection game was just the cover story for a full-blown extortion hustle. Jay Prince and his crew run this thing called checking in, where artists who touch down in Houston gotta report to him first. But it's not just a friendly handshake. They're expected to drop serious cash, and Jay frames it like it's for security so no one jumps them. Supposedly, if their chains or valuables go missing, he can help get them back. But that help don't come free, and it definitely ain't optional. See, the real twist? If an artist refuses to play along, even if they come in strapped with their own security, they allegedly get set up. Suddenly their stuff starts going missing, and they find themselves getting jumped out of nowhere. It's like, pay up or pay the price. Take NBA YoungBoy, for example. He came to Houston for some business and didn't check in. Next thing he knew, his spot got hit. Two masked goons broke into his place, stole chains, cash, and even grabbed keys to a couple of his whips. That wasn't no random act. It looked planned. And the streets haven't stopped talking since. The robbers who hit NBA YoungBoy's place had the audacity to reach out and demand a $30,000 ransom just to return his stolen stuff. But YB wasn't falling for that nonsense. He clapped back, calling them out for being clowns, and straight up told them they were acting like foolish kids trying to run a grown man's game. Then out of nowhere, Jay Prince pops up. He inserts himself into the drama by tagging YB in an Instagram video, claiming the stolen items had magically been delivered to him, like he was doing some favor. He told YB to hit him up if he wanted his stuff back. But YB, he wasn't buying any of it. He fired right back, telling Jay Prince to shove that fake kindness where the sun don't shine. YB went off, said if Jay Prince was really being helpful, he would have handled things privately. Instead, he dragged it onto social media, playing internet games when, in YB's words, "You're almost 60, bro." YB saw the whole move for what it was, a sneaky setup to force him into paying even more than what the robbers wanted. And guess what? He didn't fold. He walked away without giving up a dime. And YB ain't the only one who's fed up with Jay Prince's so-called check-in hustle. Cameron and Mahe torched him on their podcast, It Is What It Is. They clowned him hard, saying he should have been retired by now, teaching young artists how to build, not pulling these played-out tricks at his age. And let's not even get into those so-called loaded dice games Jay Prince and his son's been hosting for rappers pulling up in Houston. Word on the street? Those games ain't just for fun. They're part of the same shady setup. A slick way to bleed artists dry while acting like it's all just friendly gambling. Now here's where it gets dark. There's been heavy talk linking Jay Prince to the tragic death of Takeoff, and it all goes back to one of those very same dice games. According to the official version, some kind of argument broke out. Tension snapped. People pulled out burners, and shots went flying. One of those stray bullets hit Takeoff, and just like that, he was gone. But now, some sources say there's more to the story. Allegedly, new footage has surfaced that paints a different picture. Word is, Jay Prince was tight because Takeoff and Quavo didn't check in the way he expected. And instead of letting it slide, he allegedly gave the green light to teach them a lesson. It wasn't supposed to be fatal, just a warning, something to sit Takeoff down for a while. But things spun out of control, and that lesson turned into a tragedy. And every single time Jay Prince gets asked about it, watch his body language, real nervous energy. He dodges the topic, throws out distractions, or just straight up deflects. No real answers, just questions. And way too much silence for comfort. And let's not forget, this ain't the first time Jay Prince's name has been tangled up in street drama that mysteriously turns violent. Over the years, artists have been whispering behind closed doors, scared to speak too loud about the price of doing business in Houston under Jay's shadow. If you don't play by his rules, you either get pressed or you disappear from the scene real quick. And while Jay Prince keeps flexing with the whole "I'm just protecting the culture" speech, people are starting to see through that act. Ain't nobody stupid. Protection shouldn't come with a price tag and a threat on your life. Artists ain't flying into Houston for war games. They're trying to tour, collab, and grow their brands. But if Jay don't get that respect he's demanding, things start going sideways fast. More and more rappers are choosing to avoid the city entirely now, just to skip the headache. They don't want no part in shady check-ins, fixed dice games, or weird backdoor meetings. Houston used to be a hip-hop mecca, but with all this tension hanging in the air, even the legends are keeping their distance. Meanwhile, 50's over here building schools, launching festivals, feeding families, and not asking a single soul to bow down to him. That's the difference. One man's using his power to lift people up, while the other's still out here running the streets like it's 1998. And the streets? They're watching everything. And now the whispers are turning into full-on conversations. Even insiders are starting to speak out. Word is, a few artists who once rolled tight with Jay Prince are beginning to distance themselves, saying the vibe ain't right anymore. Too many power plays, too much intimidation, not enough real leadership. The game's evolved, but Jay, he's still stuck on that old-school fear tactic mentality. Behind the scenes, folks are saying that some of Jay's closest allies are jumping ship. Deals are drying up, relationships are souring, and some industry heads are quietly warning others to be careful when dealing with the mob ties circle. One artist reportedly backed out of a collab after being told he'd have to clear it with the boss. Like what? This ain't a mafia movie. Meanwhile, 50 is thriving off all this tension, using the spotlight to cement his spot as the real boss in the South. Every new move he makes in Houston, it's a reminder that he didn't need to muscle his way in. He earned his stripes with action. That's why the city's showing him love, giving him the keys, and calling him family. And Jay Prince, he's left watching from the sidelines as the empire he once ruled starts slipping through his fingers. Houston ain't scared anymore. The game is shifting, and Jay's grip is loosening fast. The throne? It's up for grabs, and 50's already sitting in it. People are definitely talking, and not in a good way. See, Takeoff wasn't the only one whose life was cut short after one of those infamous dice games. Remember Duke the Jeweler? Yeah, he thought he was on top after winning a clean $100,000 at one of those setups. But that win? It turned into a death sentence. Before Duke could even make it to his car, he got ambushed. They didn't just rob him, they took everything. And even worse, they didn't let him walk away. They ended his life right there. 2 high-profile names, gone, after linking up at those shady gatherings. It's becoming too obvious that something just ain't right. So when folks compare 50 Cent and Jay Prince, it's clear as day who's bringing light to Houston and who's dragging it deeper into the shadows. 50's building schools, throwing festivals, feeding communities, while Jay's name keeps popping up in whispers after somebody ends up hurt. Or worse. Now here's where it gets even messier. Word is, Jay Prince has been plotting on how to shut 50 down. For good. Allegedly, he wants to force 50 out of Houston and shut his operation down completely. But just as he was about to move, 50's beef with Big Meech started bubbling again. And guess who's always had Big Meech's back? That's right, Jay Prince. Sources say he even sent a few of his people to deliver a warning to 50, back off, or else. This ain't business anymore, it's war. But come on, y'all already know 50 Cent ain't the type to get pushed off the block. Ain't no way he was about to bow down or run scared. Instead of backing off, 50 pulled a bold move. And now, he's coming straight for Jay Prince's whole operation. Word is, 50's on a full-blown mission to shut down what many are calling Jay Prince's extortion empire once and for all. And let's be real, 50 ain't just doing it quietly behind the scenes. Nah, he's having fun with it. Trolling online, throwing jabs, stirring the pot, and still building up his businesses while he takes shots at the so-called king of Houston. He's treating it like a game, but the outcome could shake up the entire power structure in the city. But here's the million-dollar question. Should 50 watch his back now that he's drawing this much heat? Or is he playing chess while Jay Prince is still stuck on checkers? Knowing 50, he's probably 3 steps ahead with something big waiting in the cut. So what do you think? Is this just another beef? Or is 50 really about to dethrone a street legend and claim Houston as his own? One thing's for sure, this ain't over. Not even close. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay in the loop with all the latest tea. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll catch you in the next video.